Hello, and welcome to episode 8 of our FTB Neotech Modpack playthrough. Hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. Me, myself, well, it's going pretty swell. So without further ado, let's dive into, well, everything you see behind me. So I have done quite a bit of work on the base and I've reset up our tree farm here. At some point, even with this design, it stopped working. Basically all I did was break the modular cart, break all the saplings, replace the modular cart with all the saplings and fuel back inside of it. And it's been working ever since, and it's been working pretty beautifully. Now, somewhere in the quest book, it does recommend that you use this setup, the Steve's Cart's tree farm, to produce burnable fuel. So you can then convert that burnable fuel in a coke oven to charcoal, and then use the creosote as well to fuel basically this large bronze boiler. That's cool and all, but I've actually found another way that we can do it, and it seems pretty sustainable and without needing, 3 or 4 coke ovens. So first and foremost, we'll go through what's all changed down here. A lot of this was the same. Matter of fact, all of this was the same. Basically, all I added was the additional macerator and steel furnace. I think I added that in between episodes, which we've been using those a whole lot. So happy that's been working out. Hold on, we're gonna need some electrum later on, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get this stuff working. We added a sugarcane farm. This is a very simple setup, which for some reason has stopped functioning. And it's very rudimentary, so excuse me for that, but I'm not a redstone genius here. So basically it's just 3 pieces of sugarcane stacked on top of 3 pieces of snad. Snad you can get by combining 2 pieces of sand together, and essentially all it does is whenever you give it a redstone signal, it makes whatever is on top of it grow. So we have sugarcane there, we have water inside this little block setup, we have pistons up top, and then I have a little redstone clock, which is probably overly complicated, but it gets the job done. So and if you want to take another look at this, just in case you're just as bad at redstone as I am, I have a redstone repeater going to the middle block, which is all of those blocks there should be the blocks touching the sugarcane, or just they're just underneath the sugarcane, or just underneath the snad. So of course, whenever we power the block underneath the snad, it'll power the snad as well. So that's how that's working. But essentially, it's redstone repeater in the middle, so that way the redstone doesn't combine. Redstone on each side going into it, and then come up top, we just are powering the blocks beneath the pistons in order to get them to fire. And back here is a simple redstone loop with 2 repeaters extended all the way. A little lever so I can switch it on and off. You just press it really quick, and yeah, you're good to go. I don't think anything over here has changed. We did use the assembler because you end up needing that to build an enchanting table, which we'll get into that here in just a minute. So yeah, that's the sugarcane farm. On top of it, I have an item collector, which has a very unique and very customizable range. So you can see here I have it just set to what's inside there, so it doesn't pick up any miscellaneous in the outside. And then we just have a limited spruce barrel that's been upgraded to gold on front, so it can hold 6,000 sugarcane. Now, what I've been doing with this sugarcane is every so often I'll come over here and collect well, that was a little too much, but I'll collect a bit of it, and then I'll come back over here to the macerators, and in goes the sugarcane. Because let me get the rest of this out of my inventory. And shears, I don't need you. Because you can actually get a whole lot of paper by doing this. So if you look into the compressor, 1 sugarcane turns into 2 paper, which is pretty good. That means off of 3, which normally gives you 3, you get 6 instead. So doubles your paper output, and boy howdy, I need to empty this thing out. And then I just basically take the paper over here to a cartographer, and we get a ton of emeralds. And we get a ton of emeralds. So yeah, inventory space probably could use a little bit of help. Backpack, it goes back and forth with how over encumbered it is, but whenever we're crafting some of the larger pieces, which we have been here recently, then obviously it tends to be a bit more crammed in there. But yeah, so hold on. Sorry. So basically, for getting through everything that we've gotten through in the quest book, which is quite a bit since the last episode, but my thinking is if I don't start progressing through some of this stuff, we're never going to get out of this pack because we still have so many more tiers with so many more quests, and it's, you know, it's taken me quite some time to go from here to here. And really, I did this in between an episode, but it's taken me like 2 or 3 episodes just to get through this little middle bit here, which of course, we've been doing a lot of customization on a lot of different mods, right? Not just focusing on the main quest there. So we did go to the Nether in between episodes. We'll pop through over there real quick. Let me put some gold armor on. I did make myself some diamond armor. I figured, you know, we have enough diamonds with the new pressure chamber over there, and me going and finding a few more. That why not? You know, why not be protected? And that's actually how I have the extra hearts. Probably should have gone over that a little bit sooner in the video because I'm sure some of you are wondering, hey, how do you have the extra health? It's actually just an enchantment on the diamond chestplate, which we got through the enchanting table. All right. So yeah, here is the Nether. I have it completely surrounded because whenever I first spawned in here, a ghast had spawned over there and shot a fireball, hit me, but also shot one through the portal and messed up our base quite a little bit. So just like to be cautious with that stuff now. I'm looking for a piglin because I want to see if I can shift right click to pick them up. Not a zombified piglin, just a normal one, you know, the type that gets mad when you smash gold. Yeah, that's the one. It says there's some over here, but I don't know, maybe they're below us? Maybe they're above us? Is there some right over here as well? But yeah, I came through here to grab some nether quartz because I thought I was going to end up needing it. Turned out I didn't, but you know, for better or worse, I now know. Let me place a marker on our house before I get too far in here, because we're gonna go out a little bit. I think it's like somewhere right here. We'll just say portal. Yeah, I mean close enough. Wrong direction, but close enough. Now it would appear there's a pigman. Oh, he's probably all the way down there. Yeah, I don't even see him. No, he's not even down there. He's even further. Yeah, okay, it's that little baby down there. Well, that doesn't help me at all. And then it looks like we have a slime and some blazes over here. I also made a minigun specifically for coming to the Nether because I wanted to be well equipped, right? Had to use the minigun on the ghast. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the minigun is pretty good. It's not very expensive to make, and we'll go over that recipe here in just a minute. But once you're into Matacraft, you're pretty much good to go. There's a piglin. I'm gonna go try and pick him up. Let's go. So now we just need a piglin bartering farm. Let's see. I think it's easy villagers. Barterer. I'm gonna need nether bricks. How do I get nether bricks? By smelting nether rack. Well, let's go ahead and... Y'all's animation gets me. Well, let's go ahead and get some nether rack then. Our hammer should be useful for this. Yeah. It's a little scary how fast this thing works, but it's... I mean, it's convenient. I ain't gonna lie to you. It is very convenient. And I guess this is another thing that I did in between episodes was make this diamond hammer, because I had a theory that maybe making a diamond hammer and just getting efficiency on it would actually... What the hell is that? It's like a slime, but it's toxic slime. That doesn't bode well for me. Minigun, where are you? Sorry, I don't deal with toxic slimes. I don't deal with toxic things in general. Just, oh yeah, so there you go. There's the minigun. It's a general life rule for me personally. So this is going to be very useful when we do start raiding nether structures and other various things that are on the more dangerous side for sure. That being said, our biggest limiter with this is the pressure system, not actually the ammo, because I mean, you see there we have 943 of 1,000, and I actually have 2 of those 1,000 round cartridges. So we're not just good, we're good. Now with that being said, we do also have a solution on how we can solve the pressure problem. It gives you kind of a solution in the quest book, which is a pretty nifty solution and one that we'll certainly be adhering to. Okay, so 3 piglins. I'm gonna say that's probably enough, but now I see this new biome and I wanna explore just a little bit. Maybe just dip my toes in so I could say toxic heat. That's terrifying. I hate poison in any aspect. So most certainly in Minecraft, there's a ghast up there. Not looking to really dabble do with you again. Where did we come from? I feel like we came from over there. Yeah, let's just get out of here before that ghast makes me any more nervous than I already am. Another piglin, I'll certainly be picking you up. And I gotta say, this easy villagers mod does make more than just villagers easy. Sorry, by the way, if I'm sounding a little hushed in this video. The kids are sleeping. I repeat, the kids are sleeping. So we're just trying to get this video in during nap time because I did not quite get one in last night. My daughter was up till 3 a.m., which was, it was rather fun, if I do say so myself. Of course, I was up till that late as well, just trying to help her get to sleep, as it were, but y'all know how it goes. Any parents out there that have a 2-3-year-old or has had a 2-3-year-old, they're wily. And they don't understand bedtime. They don't understand the concept of, hey, it's time to just lay in bed and close your eyes until you fall asleep. They want fun. Because kids just want to have fun, right? Let's throw all this stuff in here so I'm not having anxiety every time I look into my inventory. We also bought this sleep charm off of a okay, but it doesn't work. Actually, it might have been this wandering trader. Yeah. So, let's catch y'all up on a bit of some of the other stuff. Let's also go ahead and smelt this netherrack. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't used these furnaces in quite some time since I've just been using the steel one over there because it's free, right? I don't have to put any burnables into it. So let's go over the minigun real quick because, like I said, it is pretty easy. So you need air canister, chest, copper, lever, and compressed iron. You get all 4 of these right here. Very simple, and we've already gone over how to make them. An air canister is just compressed iron, pressure tube, and redstone. We've gone over all of this. And then the cannon barrel is just reinforced brick wall and pressure tube. We know how to make a pressure tube. A brick wall is just by taking reinforced stone, combining it to make reinforced bricks, and then shaping that out like you would any other wall. And then boom, you got yourself a minigun. Then you just use the charging pad, I think that's what it's called, from Pneumaticraft, which we'll go throw this bad boy in right now. This thing, it does still have some fuel. It constantly burns fuel and it tells you, oh, this is inefficient. But realistically, when you're making as much coal as what you make in this mod pack, you can afford to be a little inefficient. Anyways, our pressure only goes up to 4.9 right now because of, these pressure tubes can only hold 4.9 bars. So whenever they get close to that, the pressure release valve on top here will vent some pressure. But basically, however much pressure you have in your system is as much pressure as what can go into your equipment. So this minigun can never get over 4.9 bars. If it does, it means their system probably just blew up, which of course you don't want to happen. So yeah, just avoid that. Shit ton more paper, and we're all backed up. That's fine. I'll take it. You're never gonna see me or hear me say no to paper. All these emeralds is how we progressed so much, because basically we just took the emeralds and we just kept buying, you know, basically whatever we needed from the industrialist. I will say there are a couple recipes or a couple items that you can buy that certainly make things the most easy, such as an analog circuit for 12 emeralds. This thing has a lot of components that goes into it and a lot of different pieces, a lot of copper and a lot of plates and a lot of custom made pieces. So if you're like me and you don't necessarily want to set up automation for each one of those pieces, or maybe you already set up automation and you didn't think to set up automation for all those pieces, then just get an industrialist villager to master, which not too hard because everything in here can pretty much assist you in some way, shape, form, or fashion with getting through the quest line. And then you get to an analog circuit, or you'll get this other result, which is still pretty good. You can get bronze drills or motors. These both greatly assist you as well, because then you don't have to make the bronze drills to power your quarry. You can just keep buying them using paper, which is pretty nifty. Now, I will say I need to make an auto trader, but that requires netherite. Okay. I hadn't even looked into the recipe, so I was just kind of assuming it was going to be expensive, because this just allows you to automate everything I do right now, which is walk up, click, 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 you know. Y'all know the drill. Anyways, so let's go over the hammer real quick. It has a breaking 3, silk touch, efficiency 4, and mending. So it is better than I don't even, oh, there it is. It's much better than the steam mining drill. It still does the same thing, and you power this with coal and it never breaks. But since I trade with the villagers, mending on this pretty much keeps it at full health at all times. So that's good. I think that is everything with this room pretty much explained. We'll go ahead and come back here so y'all can see we do have a couple of pipes leading up. We have a water pipe here that goes up, and we have a pipe here that is transferring coal up, because this is my solution to basically not having however many coke ovens that they recommend you to have, because I think building 4 or 5 coke ovens just isn't, well, it's not what I want to do. And really, this whole problem solution foundation kind of came from me saying I don't want to pipe my logs from over there to over here. There's no aesthetically pleasing way for me to get logs from there to here easily. So I was like, well, how can I do this without using logs? Well, we got coal, and coal's being produced pretty much infinitely thanks to the whole setup down below. So this is a coke oven, which it does mention in the chapter before this, I believe, right here. Faster coke oven. So it goes through and it tells you that it's much faster than the immersive engineering variant, which is key to note, because it means that, hey, maybe I don't need 3 or 4 of these. Maybe I just need 1, maybe 2. So far, 1 hasn't steered me wrong, so we'll just leave it at 1. Any hoosers, this thing does take steam in order to power, and then you just put in some coal. My solution is to use the steam boiler to provide steam back to this machine, and then this machine in turn provides coke and creosote. Now it gets the coke from the coal that comes from down below, which obviously it's like pretty much stays at max stack, because we're always processing coal. There's always more ores and more stuff coming through the pipeline down there. That being said, we have full steam up because we're just pulling it out from here. We have our coke, which is, again, double stacked up. And whenever it gets like this, I actually like to half it. And then I'll take this stack of coke down below and turn it into some more steel. And creosote, you know, it says that you need it in order to run it, or that it's good to have. But so far, I've not hit a point where it's like, oh, I absolutely need more creosote right now. It seems like the coke pretty much takes care of powering it on its own. When we get a little bit extra creosote in there, cool beans, you know what I mean? And I'll go over how to set up this multi-block structure in this one because they can be a bit confusing, and the only way that really describes what to do is within your MI guidebook, which is, you know, it's a nice little guidebook, but it is limited. So like most of the way that it explains things is such as this. The EBF is made of one layer of heat-proof machine casings, two hollowed layers of cupro nickel coils, and one other layer of heat-proof machine casings. The controller must go on the bottom layer and the hatches on the top or bottom layer. So that's fine. That one's fairly straightforward, but this one, the large steam boiler, it was a little bit of a pain to like figure out because I thought I had it a couple different ways and it just wasn't really going to plan. But essentially what you'll want to do is you want to take your heat-proof machine casings, and I think you'll need about 6 for the bottom layer. And they are fully across, so in a pattern, something like this on the bottom, right? Now, the reason I say you only need 6 is because over here, and really, I guess you only need, what, 5? Because you have 3 and 2. Anyways, you have a bronze fluid input hatch, which is for your water. You will need water, because, I mean, it is a steam boiler, right? You'll need a fluid output hatch for where the steam can come through, which I have this large glass tank over here, and that's able to hold 1.7K buckets, so 1,728 buckets of steam is what that's holding right now, which is a good little buffer. I said I don't usually use buffers in my power systems, but if that buffer is steam and I can hold 1.7 thousand or 1.7, you know, whatever K, yeah, I'm probably going to do it. Anyways, so we have our fluid input, fluid output. We have our item input, which is where you put your coke or a charcoal or whatever the hell you're using to power it, just a burnable source, right? And then you have your fluid input. Now, it made most sense to me to just have these very close together because, again, this is going to be providing this machine with items, with fluid, and in turn, this machine then provides fluid back to it to keep it running. Now, the coke oven, really, really cheap to make. Like, I cannot stress enough how cheap this machine is to make. Most of it is requiring bricks, which, of course, you should have that from, well, I won't say day one, but, oh, hold on. All right, sorry about that. So yeah, it's really cheap to make, and the way that you set it up is just by putting your bronze item or your bronze hatch is basically your output, your input, and your input on the bottom layer, and then you surround that with bricks. You put your coke oven on the middle layer, surround it with the bricks, leave the middle one empty, so something more like that. And then again, you cover the top completely with bricks, just basically back to that kind of pattern. And then for the EBF, or the electric blast furnace, you have your main block here. You'll have your hatches either on the bottom layer or on the top layer. And then you'll have your coils in the middle with a hollow interior. So you'll notice it's a 3x3. Just make sure you leave one block empty in the middle for these two middle layers. And what this machine actually does is gives you aluminum. This is how you make your aluminum. You put blocks of bauxite in there. Now, it does say that you can get this through another means, but to me, it doesn't make any sense on why you would be doing it that route. So, if we come here, you can get aluminum nuggets just through the dust. Or if you combine the dust together and get a block, you can get one entire aluminum ingot, which makes sense because 9 makes 9 and 9 makes 9, right? Or whatever, 9 makes 1, 9 makes 1. However, if you use the dust to get the nugget, you can't just put it together. Oh, you can. Why is it talking about doing it? In the quest book, it talks about needing to place it through a packer and the route being a bit inefficient, but maybe they fixed that recipe. Maybe they just didn't update the quest book, which is, you know, hey, that's all right. Anyways, so yeah, just put it in a block or put in, I guess the nuggets also work since you can just combine it together. You'll get yourself aluminum, and then you'll be using that moving forward with LV and me, right? Because we'll need it for the electronic circuit board, which eventually gets us into the electric quarry. Of course, we want this so we can get the gold drill and the steel drill available to us. But that's basically our setup. We have steam being pumped out of our large glass tank back here into the LV steam turbines. I just went ahead and made 4 of these because it says that the large steam boiler can keep up with 4. So I figured, let's put that to the test, right? And then since these only produce 32 energy per tick, or EU per tick, however you want to say that, we're not running a risk of them exploding on this or not being able to keep up with it, because this thing can hold up to 256 EU per tick. So you're good even on the low voltage wires. And yeah, I think that's most of our top setup. I am very happy and proud with this setup because this is infinite steam power, and a lot of it, right? That is also being converted into a lot of infinite EU, right? Because this machine is basically never going to stop. If I need to add another coke oven, I mean that's easy to do, and obviously our coal will probably keep up with it. So that's everything there caught up with. We have all of our armor that we've gone through. Let me go sleep real quick, and then I'll continue explaining all the in-betweens here. Like I said, quite a little bit has happened. We updated, obviously, a lot of how the base looks because, well, I just wanted to do some aesthetic work. I really like this. I thought about putting glass on top, but I kind of like the open design a bit more. It kind of feels freeing knowing that I could just swim over there, hop up on the blocks, and get to work. Anyways, moving over here, I did take down the farm because I just wasn't using these carrots anymore. I wasn't trading with them because they're a bit inefficient and a bit annoying, honestly. And I'm not eating them because I have the gold carrots, so we don't need them. This is the enchanting setup that we have. You have the ability to re-roll enchantments using 1 lapis lazuli and 5 experience points, which I don't want to do because I do want this speed upgrade. I don't want it so much that I want it right now, but that's the way it goes. Take your experience tome once you get it, which you can get this thing from completing the smart filter FTB quest. I don't know. Smart filter is not the actual quest. I don't remember where we got this from, but it was somewhere back here along the way, right? So just make sure you go grab it wherever that quest is. I thought it would have an easy... Oh, enchanting methods here. Yeah, so just make an anvil and you can get one of these books, and essentially it's a good way to store your experience. If you right click, it'll take all of it away. If you shift right click, it'll add it back. So I just like to keep all of our experience in here, so that way if I do happen to die, we're not losing it all, right? We're kind of good to go. And we have 3,000 experience in there, which is like 40 or 50 levels, something like that. But it's also useful for enchanting because, of course, whenever you enchant, it uses raw levels, and you don't want to use 1 level when you're level 50 as opposed to 1 level when you're level 30, because the amount of experience there is pretty huge. So we went over paper, we went over all that stuff, we went over the nether. I did end up getting enough items from our swords, from our ferrocore swords, that I was able to make the full slime setup. So I have the slime boots now, I have the slime sling, and of course y'all were here whenever we made the hang glider. So our next mission and objective is to use the... Thought I had one. I thought I had 2, honestly. Oh, here it is. Use the meteorite compass to actually go and find a meteorite today. That's going to be our main objective. We may not get all the way into it. We may not get all the way through it. Just depends on how long the kids will end up sleeping and if they wake up, yada, yada, yada. Because I do need this video to go out today. But that being said, basically all we've done is going over everything that's happened in between episodes. Obviously, I've expanded on our villagers. We have quite a few more now that I can trade with. Using a couple different methods, right? We have librarians for papers, we have cartographers for papers, we have fletchers for sticks, farmers for carrots if I wanted to. I took our master one and put him over here so he outputs more carrots from this farmer module. We have a cleric for gold, and of course we have all of our toolsmiths for our iron and coal. And I think that's about it as far as everything that we've done in between episodes. If you see anything that I didn't happen to mention or go over, just say, hey, Chance, what about this? What about that? Yada, yada, yada. Okay, and actually, I can hear one of the kids now. So we're going to take a little pause break here, and when we come back, we'll do some with the meteorite compass. If I don't get a chance to return back to that, this may be the end of the episode, in which case, hey, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If so, please click the like button down below, subscribe, all that good stuff. Stay awesome, stay safe, stay crafting. And of course, until next time, you beautiful, beautiful people, peace out. And if this isn't the end of the episode, then I'll just cut that part off. Anyways, peace.